Oh, we love it. It's just absolutely from day one. We haven't looked back once. It's been hell on earth in many, many ways, for many, many reasons, as it is for everyone in their own right, whether you come with family, without family, with money, without money, with a job, without a job. Doesn't matter how you come. There's going to be issues.
I'm Dr. Chamonix Blanche, ex-corporate and academical, turned CEO and board member of several companies, and mother of four little extraordinary kids. But it wasn't that long ago that I lacked the confidence, the know-how, and the time to focus on designing and really going after the life that I so wanted to live. A life of freedom, of fairness, and of being fair dinkum to who I really was and what I wanted to get out of this fleeting time that we have on Mother Earth. Fast forward to many lessons learned and moving halfway around the world to the most amazing country, you'll see the life that I now live. One that gives me more safety and freedom than I ever thought would be possible, and that really only existed as a daydream while I was living in South Africa. I created Chamonix TV to give you true spot advice on how you can also live a life in this amazing country, and so that you can see how another couple like us now live in Australia with four little kids here in Down Under. And I'll be providing you with step-by-step strategies so that you can make your Aussie dream a reality too. If you're a keen future Aussie who's looking to create a life that excites you and offers you safety, freedom, and opportunity, you have come to the right place, my friend. Welcome aboard. Hi, Justin.
Awesome.
Thanks so much for joining us today, all the way from Melbourne. It's nice to see your smiley
Absolute
face on the
pleasure.
other side of this big island.
Nice to
How are you
meet you.
going?
Fantastic. Thank you. How are
That's
you?
good. Yeah, no, we're going really well on this side. We're in a 5-day lockdown in Perth, so it's been
Oh, yes. I
interesting to
actually
say the
forgot about
least.
that.
It's yeah, you know all about lockdowns on your side in Melbourne because you guys had a few
Yeah.
lockdowns, and this is our proper first one. I'm like,
No,
oh, okay, so what do we
absolutely.
do? It's like, oh, we need to get a mask. I didn't even have a mask, so.
We've got masks in every orifice in the house, in the car, in the drawers. But like we actually don't need them much at the moment. They've just changed it last night to we do. But whatever, wear a mask, don't wear a mask. If you're in lockdown, we did it, but it's not that bad.
So do
Well,
you have
wasn't for me.
a mask with the South African flag on or not?
No, no, no. I just get the cheapies from the chemist and we just go through them. It's too much of a mission to go looking for flag masks and then you're going to pay $10, $12 and you'll lose it or the dog will eat it or my kids will annex it into their collection. So there's no point.
Very, very true. So you're a clever guy too, because you look at the way you use things and you use it in a good way. So tell us
True.
about your children, Justin. You mentioned children, and how long have you been in Australia for?
Okay, so we arrived in June 2016, so just over 4.5 years ago. In June this year, it'll be 5 years. I got three kids. My daughter's turning 15 next week, going on 25. Different women are different creatures. No, I'm fine with her. It's yeah. Anyway, it's a unique scenario. We're very lucky. Then my son is Noah. He is just under 12 and a half. He'll be 13 in September. And then my little guy is 8.5. He'll be 9 in May.
Good spread. So
Yes.
one girl and two
One girl,
boys.
two boys. Correct.
And obviously they came over with you 4.5 years ago. How did they
Yeah,
find the
well, we kind of had to
transition?
bring them. um,
Yeah.
um, um, it was interesting. Initially, the little one went to crash, so he was actually fine and he was indifferent. He would have been 4 or 3.5 or something when we got here, so he was really young. The bigger two went to school and came back, and Shane is quite outgoing. Would go all over the place, but it was very challenging for them. The first few months were very, very hard. They didn't know anyone, but they kind of got on with it. They were excited to scooter to school and whatever, which was great. Um, had some issues adjusting, but eventually we ended up changing schools, which was amazing for us. You know, we got them into an amazing school here. And then as soon as they settled down, met a couple of mates who saw the world that they see it. We all see it differently, you know. So they found a couple of friends and had a few birthday parties and whatever. And we've never looked back since. It's the most amazing thing ever.
So how long would you say was that transitioning period for them about?
I'd say minimum 6 months. Minimum 6 months for anyone and everyone. I mean, think about it. You ripped out of school. Now you put in with kids, it might be mid-year. They've all made their little friendship groups. They speak a different language. It's English, but it's not your English or my English. And those little subtle things that you take for granted when you talk to someone, if you're young and you're hearing it, you don't understand or you can't tell someone. You know, if I say to you, listen, go to the cafe and get me a milli, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know, go past, go 3 robots and then hook a left at the garage and there's a guy who sells millis or an oak who sells millis. You know exactly what I'm talking about. So that's just someone like, there's an oak. An oak is a tree. Milli, what's a milli? You know, or whatever, you know, so it takes a while to learn. And then slowly but surely, when you talk and you understand a bit better, it all just starts to come together.
So that's the kids, you say, how they found it.
Yeah.
How did you, the grown-up kids, find it?
Oh, we love it. It's just absolutely from day one, we haven't looked back once. It's been hell on earth in many, many ways. For many, many reasons, as it is for everyone in their own right, whether you come with family or without family, with money, without money, with a job, without a job, doesn't matter how you come, there's going to be issues. That's just life. Um, but we've just loved every minute. I mean, there's not a day that goes by that we don't walk to the park and just go like, how cool is this? You know, literally every single day we do that. So we just really enjoyed it. You know, work was challenging. It took me 3 months to get a job here, and I got a great job at a great institution. But again, I went from being relatively senior in South African terms, where I kind of, you know, knew everyone. I was at the top end of the food chain within a food chain, so to say. And I came here and suddenly I was like almost like a bank teller. Not a bank teller, but you know, in a good position in a good bank. But with due respect, I didn't know what the people were talking about. The language was different, so it was very challenging. Um, but I learned a lot. I
So
met a
what
heap of people. Yeah.
what
So
industry is that in that you, so what did you do in South Africa and what do you do now?
so in South Africa, I was in private banking, and I spent like 20 years there. And effectively, by the time I left, I used to head up a division within Nedbank Private Wealth. And when I left, I came here and got a great job at Westpac Private Bank as a banker. Um, and it was great, just very, very challenging. I learned a lot. Like I said, I got my teeth kicked in a lot as well. So I learned to enjoy the taste of my own blood, which, again, if you're coming, you might as well just go, thank you for the lesson, and you just keep moving forward. If you can't do that, you're going to have a lot of heavy days. And if you can learn to do that and go, thank you for the lesson, and move forward. So I spent a year there. And then at the end of the year, I just said, this is not what I want. You know, I had, like I said, spent 20 years in private banking in South Africa, done all the jobs from postman to you know, whatever. And I looked at the pictures here and I said, I just don't want to spend 10 years being a banker and then being a senior banker and then being a slightly more senior banker and then maybe the most senior of bankers and then the manager. I've done it. It's great, whatever, but it's just not what I wanted. Um, and the lucky thing about coming here is you can be whoever you want. You don't have to
Absolutely.
be the guy who was there. You know, so after that, I moved into a small mortgage brokerage firm. where I learned a lot. And after 6 months, I just said, listen, thank you for the opportunity, but I want to do it my way. Again, I'm 47. Don't tell me how to do things. I just don't want to be told. I'm hard to manage. I'm full of shit. So just let me be me. And so I left them. And as luck would have it, I got in touch with an old mate who was at school with me. Him and his brothers were at school with me and my brother and sister, I don't know, in like 1980 something. And he said, oh, look at this, that. I said, put the phone down. I'll be there now. I got on a plane, flew to Sydney, met with him and his partners who were all South African as well. And it was like I had seen him 2 days ago in grade 3.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, I became the Melbourne branch of Logix. We mortgage brokers and we do loans, mortgages, investment loans. And 2.5 years down the line, never been happier. The best thing on earth. My day is just perfect every single day. It kills my wife, drives her nuts.
Because you
But
like
literally,
going to work. And I assume you're working from home?
yeah. Well, so that's a positive that's come out of COVID is that where the industry's developed very quickly. So where we had to meet clients and valuers had to see properties physically, now everything's via Zoom and Schmoom and Wi-Fi and whatever. So I sit like, this is what I do. I don't video call all my clients, but I spend my day on the phone to clients. So I'm either here or I'm 500 meters down the road at the park with my dog Archie, and my day starts every single day. I drop the kids at school, take Archie for his walk, I have my coffee, I talk to my clients, I come back, I go for a run, I come back, I talk to more clients. Eventually, I sit down and do what I actually have to do with the work. Then I fetch the kids from school. Then it's like mayhem until 11 o'clock. And then I literally like, what's actually happened? And the world is upside down.
I'm so glad
Uh,
it's not just in my household like that. I'm so glad
oh,
to hear that it's the same
oh,
for you.
yeah, so my boys love me lying down with them. So I'll lie down with Ozzy at like 9 or 10 o'clock. He's 8. But it's light here until 9 o'clock. So what are you going to do? Make the kid go to sleep in the day? No, he's up playing games, messing around. So 9 o'clock, I lie in bed with him. Then I wake up at 11 o'clock. Half the house has gone to sleep, and the 14-year-old is cruising around looking for, I don't know, TV remotes, tea, this, that, probably beer, but anyway. So I have a chat to her, and we'll have a cup of tea together. And then I sit down 12 o'clock. I say, right, what was I meant to do today that I was too busy walking the dog, running, playing with the kids, playing with the puppies, doing this, and I do my work. It's great.
And you get stuff done and you're happy and everybody around you feel the positive vibes. And
Absolutely.
have you
Listen,
started looking over or have you been looking over your shoulder here in Australia? Did that come with you from South Africa? You know, that feeling of,
okay,
gotta cover
so
my
let me put,
back.
okay, so to maybe put in perspective, I'm covered in tattoos of samurais and swords and whatever. So I come from a background where I was always hands up, ready to kill or be killed. Generally, if they try to kill me, I would have killed them. Um, Probably took 2 years for my shoulders to actually relax. And when you see a really big dude covered in tattoos, shaved hair or piece of hair or whatever walking towards you, well, he's just this big dude covered in tattoos who goes to the gym a lot. And he's probably the nicest guy you'll ever meet. And there's no angst. There's no anger. I'm not saying shit doesn't happen. People get hurt. There's stabbings. There's fights. There's the odd murder, which you'll have 800 cops investigating one murder.
And
It's
it'll be
like,
the front
dude,
page.
what are you on about? It's like if it's like in Joburg, it's like just drive around the body. I'm just carry
Yeah.
on
Oh.
driving. Yeah, it's like, oh my God. And it's terrible. And every tragedy is terrible to that family or that individual. But the fact, I mean, there was a woman who was raped and murdered, it was probably about 2 years ago. A, they caught the guy within a couple of weeks, but B, the whole city, the whole of Melbourne had a vigil for this poor woman, and they put wreaths and roses and all caught the same tram and it's just so nice to be in a world where life is valued, where people will come out of their homes to go, oh my God, look what happened to this girl. Police aren't good enough. And yeah, I'm going police are amazing. But so anyway.
Different, yeah, very different perspective on what's important and how things are treated, like you say, like murders and everybody. It's on the front page of the news if something like that happens. You know, somebody gets
weeks.
hurt almost in Melbourne. We over here in Perth have it on our front page for.
Yeah, exactly.
And for many viewers who don't necessarily realize, Melbourne and Perth are about a 4-hour flight apart from each other. So it's far. The other thing I meant to ask you, Justin, was what visa did you come over with?
We came, I think it's a skilled independence. I know the number has changed. I think it was a 189 skilled independent visa.
And that's on your brokerage or no banker?
No. That's a whole other story. So what actually happened was, to give you a bit of the backstory, is when we were young and married, and my daughter was just a few months old, many of our friends were immigrating or talking about immigrating, and as everyone does, goes, oh, should I, shouldn't I, can I, can't, my family, my money, my this, my that, my job. And we said, well, we don't know. So we were kind of in between. And then, as luck would have it, our friends were held up in our driveway. But as South African side went well, no one was hurt. They took some phones and rings and whatever. The cops took 2 hours to arrive, and the gentleman who took the statement didn't have the literacy level of my 8-year-old. So it was very challenging to give a statement, but we laughed it off and we carried on drinking our whiskeys. And I said, never again on my clock. So the next month we came to Australia on a look-see decide trip. Loved it. I had interviews coming out the gazoo, and everyone said, love you, we'll give you a job, but when you've got your visa. I was like, no. You give me the visa and then I'll come and I'll work for you and I'll be amazing. And they said, no, you get the visa. Anyway, so we went to a whole lot of lawyers, and every single lawyer we went to said, sorry, you don't have the points. You won't qualify. My wife was distraught. Now it's my fault that we're stuck in this country forever. And I said, no. So I spoke to a few mates. I read the rules. I reread the rules. And I effectively worked out the best way to articulate my job. You need to taper what you do to what fits in the very square, round, hole, peg, whatever it is. So at the time, I was still in a very senior position at the bank, or a different bank, and I went to the CFO and the CEO, and I said, guys, here's the story. I want to immigrate. This is why. No ill intent on you or me. It's just the way it is, and I need your help to sign off on the following, that I'm this guy, and I came in as a marketing and sales manager. And in Australia, the view of a manager is you need to be a manager of managers, not a manager of people. So you can't be the boss of 30 people.
So senior level.
You could be the boss of 2 people who are the boss of another 2 people who are the boss of another 2, and suddenly you're a manager. But, it's just a hierarchical thing. So they were happy to do it. They supported me. I put a rules of a pack together, sent it through, and it qualified me in points. We did it just before I turned 35, because I would have lost 5 points on my birthday. So I don't know when that was. It was long ago.
12 years?
Shh. Let me enjoy it. 11 years.
It was just yesterday.
Anyway, so yeah, we got approved. Oh, no, we didn't get approved. We had enough points to get into the system, and then the GFC hit. And everything went quiet for another 4 years. We had another child. We named him Ozzy because we liked the name.
Oh, cool.
And then we got the phone call saying, oh, by the way, come for your medicals. You got the points, you're in. Like, wow. Now what?
Wow.
And yeah, that was it.
Wow. So was that Department of Immigration who called you?
It was our agent who assisted us with the application. So they had a couple of different options at the time. And basically, we did everything. They just kind of posted it for us and just kept us abreast and made sure we put it in the correct place. So it was the agent who actually phoned me.
Wow. Okay. And so then what did you do once you got that phone call?
Well, then it still took 9 months to get my son's unabridged birth certificate,
Oh dear.
which was an absolute screw up because we didn't realize that your year to come to Australia, because you've got 5 years from the day they say you can come. But it's not 5 years from when you arrive, it's 5 years from when they say come. So 9 months down the line, when we eventually got his birth certificate, I just changed jobs because we were now going to stay, because I had given one set of options or whatever it was, one set of circumstances for another, and there was a 5-year plan and a this and a that. So it's very inconvenient for us, to be honest, because suddenly it's like, now what? So we came for a visit, stamped in, went back, decided let's just see how it goes in South Africa again, because things were pretty upbeat. And then we came here for a bar mitzvah, but just my wife and I spent the 10 days just interviewing back to back to back to back. And when we went back to South Africa, I said, we idiots. We're looking, you talk about the horse's mouth. What's it, looking a gift horse in the mouth?
Yep.
Don't look a gift horse in the, there's a saying.
Yep.
I said, we have got 5 golden tickets to a world that is just like, wow, you can walk, you can chill, you just whatever you can do, you can do. And I'm going to hold on to it for to get a promotion and a bonus and some more shares and so I can drive my motorbike or my car as fast as I want, and it's all lacquer. Or we can go to this new world with this opportunity. And I said, that's it, we're done. She said, but when do we go? I said, well, I'm applying for a job or every job, and I'm selling the house. Well, we selling the house, not me. And I said, whichever happens first, we're gone. And our house sold. The settlement or the transfer happened on, would have been the 5th of June, because the buyers came to us, got the keys, and we got into the Uber and went to the airport and gone.
Oh, wow.
So yeah.
Wow.
And I wish I could have, if I'd known now what I know then and all that other stuff. When the guy phoned me, when the agent phoned me to say you got your visas, I would have gone, fetched my wife and my kids from school, got on the plane, come here, and just sell everything after, except for my motorbike. I still would have brought that.
So what did you bring over with you? Apart from the wife and
Motorbike,
kids.
motorbike, and a household full of crap.
What would you have not packed or also packed if you could do it again?
If I could do it again, I would let go of 90% of my stuff. Bring your clothes, bring your motorbike if you've got one, bring some sentimental stuff, the heirlooms, the fancy knife and fork stuff. But if it doesn't go in the dishwasher, get ready to say goodbye to the polished Carol boys, because it looks like terrible. Because if it don't go in the dishwasher, it don't get used. And with respect to anyone who's ever pointed a finger at their maid for breaking a glass, this or that or whatever, our maid was a legend. Because since we've arrived in Australia, we have personally broken everything ourselves. So don't ever point a finger until you've done it yourself, because we've broken everything. And that's what I'm saying. So our beds, if I could get rid of them, I would, because they don't fit the Australian beds, which is fine when you arrive. And it's fine every time Granny Martha comes to visit, but when you want to buy linen, it just doesn't fit right. And you can buy a bed here cheap. There's always a sale. There's a 50% sale at every other shop every other day. Rather just rent, and again, it's my opinion, do whatever works for you, but I would rent a quarter of someone else's tanker container, bring the necessities, come here. When you get, please God, you've got friends. Our friends were amazing. We arrived to a furnished house. They had begged, borrowed, and stolen stuff from everyone who just puts their hands and says, yeah, I've got a toast, I've got a bed, I've got a TV, whatever. And you live like animals for the first couple of weeks potentially. But in that time, go buy a fridge, go buy a whatever. And then just your cool stuff arrives. Our fridge, I mean, we've given it away since, so all the stuff we brought, we've pretty much given away.
Wow.
Or sold, depending on its condition or whatever. And the stuff we still got is like clothes and maybe one lounge suite, I think.
And in terms of, you said your friends had it all set up for you, so to say. Who were those friends? I mean, you don't have to name them necessarily, but like Australians, or were it South Africans you knew from back then?
Predominantly South Africans that I'd grown up with and had subsequently immigrated, as well as family, like my wife's cousins. They were amazing. So, but everyone pitches in. I mean, we have it all the time. So I'm sure you're on all the Facebook groups, South Africans in Melbourne. Someone will say, oh, I've got a mate coming, can anyone help? It's like, yeah, I've got a fridge, I've got a this. When we don't want something, like, example, mate moved into a house, had an amazing fridge, didn't want it. He said, do you want it? I was like, okay, shit, yeah, why not? Now I've got 3 fridges. So the other 2 fridges, first thing you do, you put them on the South African website saying, guys, fridge to go. And everyone pulls in, chips in and helps. Oh, I've got a mate who's coming. Let me help it out.
Yeah, there's a lot of help through those Facebook groups. I agree with you. And also just the Verge collections, which is something that the South Africans don't know or don't do, where you put your household goods that you don't need anymore just on your Verge, and the council comes and collects it. But before the council collects it, you have people coming around your street who also come and have a look-see, oh, do I want this? Do I want that? Will it fit my stuff?
Some of our best shopping is on the street. It's amazing. You drive, I was like, we need one of those. Dunk, got it. So everyone does it. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's not just some people. It's what you do. You go, you drive. Even if you're just on your way to the shops, you drive past everybody else's Verge stuff. Shit, I want to say sometimes that they put out, and you grab something, you take it home. If it doesn't work for you, just put it out on your Verge again, as long as it's obviously within that week that you have the leeway to put it out.
So here it works. You get 3 hard collects a year. So whatever you put out, eventually, if it doesn't disappear, then you do a hard collect. But even broken things, like we put a half-dead lawnmower out. And slowly but surely, guys who work on lawnmowers, guys who tink on engine parts, there's guys welding stuff in their back. Just like literally every day, we'll be missing a wheel, missing an eyeball, missing its tail, and next thing the lawnmower's gone. Easy as.
But yes, then there's those people who make a living of it, and they build up all these old refurbished lawnmowers or whatever it might be and resell them. So it's a great circle of reusing things, which I think is absolutely awesome. Tell me, what's the best thing for you about Australia? What do you like the most?
Geez, I don't even know where to start. Just everything. It's a nice place to be. No one hoots. Or again, where we live, I drive around. If you hear a hoot, it's like, what's going on? Oh my God, that guy skidded. And the coffee shop were like, oh, did you see? It's like, that's the worst thing that I've seen. Not that worse things haven't happened. It's littered with coffee shops. Wherever you go, it's a coffee culture. You sip in your coffee and you become a coffee snob, and your world revolves around grabbing your world revolves around meeting for a coffee and a catch up. I run. I never ran in South Africa because there's nowhere to run. Here you can run anywhere. All you need is a decent pair of runners. So I'll run to the beach and then I'll run at the beach, or I'll drive to the beach and run at the beach, or my mates will phone me and we'll go for a little ride to the beach or to the city or to wherever, or we'll do a Friday night supper or beers at 9 o'clock on the beach. It's 5 minutes, everything. It's just a small, beautiful world to be in. And when I spent the first year in the city with my eyes like, wow, it's like so cool. I don't want that anymore, but I love the fact that I can just go to the city.
Mm.
We're
And the
5
inner
minutes.
city, and it's safe. You don't have to worry. It's not
Oh,
like going to
yeah.
Joburg inner city, which
No, I mean, my daughter's, I'm going to take her there when we get round to it so that I'm comfortable that she knows her way around and she can go with at least 2 friends. So 2, 3 friends, she can go to the city. It's fine. She can defend herself. And if there's 3 girls or 2 boys and a girl, whatever it is, it's fine. I mean, she gallivants all over the place, catches a tram to here, there, the bus, the tram, the this, the Ubers. It's just incredible. That's
So
all I want for her.
do you think she and your 2 boys see themselves as South African or Australian?
I'd say more Aussie. Well, look, my little one has no or has very limited recollection of South Africa. Um, my middle one also, I don't think he identifies much with us, South Africa. Shane has got some South African more background than them, but no, she's all Aussie. All her friends are here. I mean, my parents and my wife's parents and family, we obviously still in touch with, but her world's here, you know. All her memories are here. Everything's here.
Now, is there something about Australia that annoys you specifically or that you don't like?
I'm the wrong person to ask that, because no. That's great.
Good. That's amazing.
It's all about
yeah.
perspective. You know what? It's all
Yeah.
about perspective. So everyone goes, oh, it's a nanny state and you can't drive fast. And yeah, you can't. And you know what? That sucks if you're driving a really super fast car and you're driving at
Or a
50
nice
or 60 like
motorbike.
everyone else. Yeah, like everyone else. But when you've got a 14-year-old and you've got a dog and you've got 2 other kids that sometimes cross the roads without their eyes 100% engaged, and the fact that because it's really frowned upon, speeding, you don't look cool, you look like an idiot, it's less likely to happen. And God forbid someone I know or something I know crossing the road is less likely to get run over. So yeah, I like the rules. So I just think it's great. And everyone complains about it. It's like, you know what? Shut up.
Yeah. So, but you see the reason behind why it is like that, which is good, because I mean that's the whole point. There's a reason
if you
it's
don't
like
like
that.
it, suck it up, princess.
Or
That's
go
my
back.
view. Correct. Just suck it up. You know what? Just don't come. Come here, join the party, be part of it. Say yes, say no. You want to do it your own way? Go for it. I didn't enjoy the work environment. I believed I could do better, and I don't mean financially, just better for what I want for my world. And it's taken 2.5 years of blood, sweat, and tears to get to a position where I'm relaxed and I've got 5 deals there and 10 deals there and 5 phone calls I need to return to make opportunities happen. And it took a long time to get there. And simple view, it's very easy to go, oh God, that guy, he's got a job. It's what, you know what? Go do it yourself. It's very, very different when you've got to choose your business cards and how it looks or how you approach, and you don't have letterheads. You can't just go, oh, yeah, I'm all letterheads. So everyone who complains about managers and whatever, just change your perspective. And if you can do it better, then go do it. And if you can't, then just shut up and do that in everything. So I did it in my work. I believed I had personal issues with aspects within South Africa, but so I moaned and I voted with my feet. I don't want to belittle South Africa. It's a beautiful place. It's an amazing place, but it had its issues, which I believe are manageable or not. Obviously not, or not within my time, or not at the risk I believe I put myself in by being there. Therefore, I'm here. Easy as.
Yeah, do what works for you. Is there something that you miss about South Africa apart from friends and family? Because that's the usual response. But is there like anything tangible that you miss? Maybe some food items or something?
No, not really. I mean, we've been here 5 years, so I could tell you the most amazing steak was at whatever restaurant. But there's an amazing steak here. So I'm not in a position to say that steak's better than that steak. What I do miss is riding really fast to Hartbeespoort Dam and back, and the freedom to open up. And just the way having 40 or 42 years worth of knowing. You know your way around. I know my way around Cape Town and Durban and PE and East London because I've grown up there. So you miss the familiarity. But in the exact same vein, I love the unfamiliar. So when a client's in a different area, I can't wait to drive to him because like whatever, it's so cool. Like I haven't seen these shops. I'll phone Mark, oh, you can't believe how beautiful this area is. And then we'll go there for coffee on the weekend with the dog and just go for coffee and we'll just walk down the street. So that's what we do. Again, I miss my people, not much else.
Would you do it over again if you had to?
All day, every day.
Good.
Wouldn't even bat an eyelid. I would have done it. Like I said, when I answered the call, I would have quit my job, gone home, fetched my wife and kids, and gone to the airport.
How does your wife feel about the move? Is she settled in?
Same. We love it here. We've had our issues, we've had our challenges, had many crying days over stupid stuff, but that's going to happen. And you get on with it. And she's met and we've met thousands of people from walks of life we never thought we would. And we just really enjoy it.
How is your weekend different here in Australia than what a typical weekend would look like for you in South Africa?
Well, I think in South Africa we would spend a lot more time out, away from home, in shopping malls, buying crap. I don't know why or what. We had our maid lived with us, so it was quite easy for babysitters. So on a weekend, on a Sunday, I'd get up early and go riding with my mates. On Saturday night, we'd go out for dinner to wherever. Friday night, we'd probably go to family or have huge amount of people at us for dinner because it was easy and someone else had to clean up and whatever. So our weekends now are, I think, a lot more simple, a lot more relaxed, a lot more just mooching around the house. The kids have got functions or whatever, we take them. And again, I wake up, go on a Saturday morning, take my dog for a walk. There's a lot more people in the park on a weekend. So the walk, and my wife comes with me. Addie comes with me on the Saturday because she obviously doesn't work on the weekend. So our walk might be 2.5 hours because we just amble around, bump into mates, go for coffee, come back, wake all the kids up, get them moving, and yeah, and then we'll go out once every other week or month, get takeaways, we'll cook at home, just very relaxed.
Now, for the viewers that would be watching this, Justin, what would you say to them if they're considering, I think I want to go to Australia? What would you say to them?
I'd say go for it. Without a doubt, go for it. Be prepared to cry and be prepared to say goodbye to people and be prepared to be let down by people and be prepared to be propped up by other people and prepared to lose and gain. But at the end of the day, if you've got to go through hell to get to where you're going, walk through like you own the place. So suck it up, princess. Wipe the blood, hands up, chin down. I could give you a billion metaphors that I use for myself, for anyone and everyone, because a lot of the time, and especially in sales, you've got to put a smile on your dial no matter what's happened, and you've got to put it out there and just give it a go. And if you've got no money in the bank or you don't have a job or whatever, you can't sit at home and go, oh God, no, you got to suck it up, baby. Do what you got to do. Go knock on doors. We've all done it. I've emailed people and knocked on doors and asked for opportunities and sat with people for coffee in ways I never anticipated. And you know what? I'm still okay. And just do it and be prepared to do it. And again, there's going to be good things and bad things that are going to happen soon to someone. Just get on with it. And it's not harder here than it is there. It's as hard. I'd be more scared to be a 47-year-old white male. I'm 46 or 47, but a 47-year-old white male with a job or without a job in South Africa because it's challenging. And here, through my own choice, I walked away and started from scratch. In a sales industry, where you're dependent on who you know, and I knew no one. Just do it. And there were times where I've done work which I won't say is beneath me, but it's not what I thought I'd be doing after 20-year corporate career with the number of qualifications, but I was prepared to do it. And I did do it a couple of times here and there, and it was more of just a stopgap to say, well, what is it like to do this, whatever that may have been. And I know many people have done it, and other things, whether it's moonlighting in a shop or as an Uber driver, can be done.
Yeah.
When you got nothing coming in and nothing in the bank, you do what you got to do. I brought my motorbike across. I sold it because, well, quit your job, you started on your own, and you've got a beautiful bike in the driveway, but you don't know how you're going to pay rent or buy food, whatever your story. Everyone's got a story here, and that's the beauty. We're sharing it. I could tell you stories about me which are horrible or sad, and then you talk to a mate who tells you about how they lost a child or whatever, and you go like, sure, okay, let me shut up about stubbing my toe on the tree, or you know what I mean. It's just get your perspective, and you've got to teach yourself to do that all day, every day, because otherwise you're going to go down, or you're going to stay afloat and go up eventually.
Last question: Springboks or Wallabies?
I'm going to lose you so many viewers if I give you my answer. Actually, I'm going to lose a lot of friends. No, I'm not. So I actually don't care. I'm happy to watch the game. So I went, obviously, last World Cup to a good mate who's a proper Springbok supporter. And obviously, there were 150 South Africans in the skies. You have no idea. If I had said anything other than Springboks, I would have been dead. But to be honest, I actually don't care. As long as I get to watch the UFC, that's all I care.
And there's lots of that on the channels these days, aren't there?
Almost too much. It's hard to keep track, but it's great. But no, I think my blood is green, and to a point when I'm watching the Springboks. Other than that, I'm indifferent.
Thanks so much for sharing your story with us. It's been fabulous talking to you.
Cool.
You're like your outlook on life is infectious, and your bubbly personality. And there's no doubt that has absolutely helped you to get where you are. So well done on making Australia your home.
Thank you for your time. And I think what you're doing is great, because it wasn't available to me 5 years ago.
Wouldn't it have been great if you could have heard from other people? That's what I wish I could hear.
Absolutely. Just lekker. Just how did that go? Whatever. It's just wasn't available. So thank you for what you do.
Thank you for sharing. We appreciate it, and we'll catch up soon.
See you later.
Bye, Justin. All right. So thank you so much for joining me today. If you had fun, please remember to hit that subscribe button, and then it'll make sure that you never miss a thing. I'll see you same time and same place next week. Bye for now.